You need to hear this. I'm sure you've heard about the Rothschild family, which controls the global economy. But did you know the secrets of this family? I will reveal to you the secrets of this family in this video. A family that controls the world economy. Their wealth is half the wealth of the world's population. 5 brothers who own the largest global banks own a third of the world's water. Wars, peace, economy, politics, gold, government bonds, health, from the 18th and 19th centuries until the 21st century. This family started from the Jew Mayer Rothschild. His father died when he was 11 years old, but before his father died, he was keen to teach his son to trade. It is true that Mayer was 11 years old, but he was obsessed with trading. Here the story began. Mayer was born in 1744 from a fanatical Jewish family, and he was born in Germany. He didn't learn trading in the correct way, but rather he learned it through usury and trickery. Fortunately for him, Germany at that time was governed by Christian law in its dealings, and it was not permissible in Christianity to use usury and trickery. Days passed and his father died, and he didn't know how to apply what he had learned. But the thing he was sure of was that he wanted to preserve his father's legacy. They made a fortune from their trade in a malicious manner, but they were all on the same level. As for Mayer, he was on the other level. Mayer was not only looking for wealth, but he wanted to rule the economy, and in the 18th century he saw Mayer as the greatest threat to the economy, where he began to improve his working conditions and returned to his father's work and made it better than before. And from here began Mayer's plan to marry and have 5 children. He raised his children to work in the market, and when his children grew up and reached the age of majority, the danger to Europe and the entire world began. He began distributing his 5 sons to the most important large countries. His eldest son, Amschel, went to Germany and sent his second son, Salomon, to Austria. The third, Nathan, was the smartest of his sons and was sent to Britain. The fourth, Kalman, went to Italy. As for the youngest, Jacob, were sent to France. Each of them, upon his arrival, established a financial institution. In the name of the family, that is, he established a bank, and it is true that each of them ran a state. But there was a bond between them that was never severed. The family was very close, and their father, before sending them, set several rules. One of them was that it was forbidden for anyone to marry outside the family or a non-Jew so that they could preserve money and family inheritance. At that time, Industrial Revolution was at its peak, and the Rothschild family entered into it strongly because they were the kings of money at that time, and they earned astronomical numbers from these industries, and all their actions were illegal except for the things recorded on paper. What was hidden was greater than the largest causes of wars in the 18th century. It was caused by the family. Rothschild's first example is the Napoleonic War. Mithon supported the British Army, and his other brother supported the French Army too. Now you are surprised why the 2 brothers support each other's enemy. Let me explain. Now there is a war between 2 sides. Each side has supporters. So what is the benefit for Rothschild brothers? One of them provides support to the first party on the condition of submission, and that he has a hand in politics, so he supports them with money and weapons. And the other one does the same for the other side, and with the same conditions and political submission. And one of the news mentioned about them is that when Nathan fought Napoleon, he went to London, and he entered the stock market and sold all his assets and stocks. And from all the big money he sold, people knew that Nathan is the richest man in Britain, and he is selling his assets, and because of that, they thought he definitely has information about Britain's loss in the war. So everyone in the market started selling their assets, and everyone sold their assets and stocks. And of course, this cheap trick from Nathan earned a lot of money, which is equivalent to $120 billion today, but those who didn't know the opposite is true. It's true that Nathan had certain information, but it was in Britain's advantage, not in its loss, and the one who bought people's assets after they sold them at a loss is Nathan himself. But by selling them. And this cheap trick was described as the most malicious and boldest move. In history, no one has ever done it in the stock market. And from this trick, Rothschild's family's profits increased in a crazy way. Rothschild's family didn't just have profits in business, they supported the Jews and were a key hand in implementing the promise of this cheap trick. Many tried to stand up for this family, but they were doomed. And of course, this is what they say. But in fact, These were organized assassinations of those who opposed them. They were even dared to assassinate presidents of countries, and these countries are considered one of the greatest countries in power and economy, like Lincoln and the assassination of John Kennedy. And of course, I don't confirm these assassinations because there is nothing certain. Rothschild's family is still around the world, and they are still rich, but there are rumors that they own about half of the world's money. Can you imagine? To this day, they control the world force and country's economy, but from under the table.